beautiful day in the valley. Hopefully all of our troubles are behind us. To be honest with you, I'm not sure why the food factory needs so many vehicles, but anyway, we're just doing what we're told. We can't go down anymore in our gearbox. This is the lowest gear. Ooh, yep. Okay, here comes the wheel slip. And here comes the sand. Look at this. I'm walking beside the DM3. We're basically going up this hill at a walking pace. That's how slow we're going. And that is a lot of weight though. Almost 700 ton. And we are using up our precious sand right now because we're going up this hill. We may well run out of sand. And then we'll start slipping our wheels. Then we'll start going backwards. Isn't that great? Do you hear something? I hear something. It sounds like a DM3 struggling behind us. Oh no, the wheels are spinning. Uh-oh, this is not good. Oh god, no, we're starting to go backwards. No, DM3 coming at you. Hello everyone and welcome to a video on Derail Valley Simulator once again on the channel. Why not? And why not take our DM3 for a run today? You can't quite see the DM3 just yet because it's a little bit out of sight. I wanted to start at the rear of the train for a change and maybe just try something a little bit different today. This is not career mode by any stretch. This is sandbox mode, and here we have, as you can see, a whole pile of cars on some cars. On some cars, if you get what I mean. Cars, on train cars. Anyway, we've got here some auto racks, and they weigh in at basically 47 ton each, okay? Combined, 23 ton for the auto rack, and 24 ton worth of imported vehicles in this case, that you can see here. Just make sure the handbrakes are off, which they are. And we have, well, how many of these cars do we have? Well, carriage-wise, we've got 14 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, still 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 cars, just to prove to everyone that there's 14 cars here behind me. And here is the DM3 at the head of the train as well, as we can see, just coming into view here, our beloved DM3. So yes, we've got 14 cars at 47 ton each, so that's 658 ton, and we are based here at Harbour and Town, okay? And I thought I'd do a little run today, well, maybe little or a lot of a run, a long run maybe, depending on how we go, but I'm thinking we'll go up to Food Factory and Town anyway, at the other end of the map, okay? And we've got this lovely DM3, as you can see here. How I miss driving this thing. It's going to be a lovely, awesome journey today, I'm sure, and hopefully we won't get into any trouble. Gonna go ahead and hop in here and we'll get everything going. I tell you what, it's nice to be driving, well, about to be driving some diesel power after having driven steam, it seems, for quite a bit lately in career mode. So yes, here we are, Harbour and Town. I've got the map here. We'll be heading up this way. We're heading west in a northwesterly direction. There's a crazy incline, as we know, coming out of Harbour and Town, but then we've got a nice little section of straights all the way up, nice, more inclines, and then finally up to Food Factory and Town. So I think it's going to be a nice little run today for sure, because I'm really looking forward to driving this lovely DM3. This is my office, the way I see it. Save the manuals, yes. Alright, well, let's get going. So we'll get the starter power switch on and then flip the starter. There we go. Engine's just roared into life there, idling away at a nice casual sub 200 RPM it seems. And you can hear the hissing in there in the background from the brakes being charged up. The brake's going to take quite a while to charge on such a long train like this, so in the meantime I'm just going to go ahead and get the lights going. I can see here that the headlights are set correctly. It's almost 9:30 in the morning here in the game, so nice and early, more or less, in the morning. Looks like weather is good as well so far. Hopefully the weather holds up and we don't get any rain, because we don't want rain driving such a heavy train. We don't need wet rails and slippery slideys and all that kind of stuff. Don't need that. Looks like we got yellow lights on the rear as well, so we're going to have to change that. So I think we can change this by using the lights type up here. Yep, not that one, lights type, that's just above it. There we go, lights type changes it to red. Excellent. Looks like we're all coupled up there as well. Those brakes are really taking a little while to get charging, aren't they? Like I said, it's a long train, so compressor's doing its job right now, trying to charge up the entire train. Got the main res and brake pipe charging away. Shouldn't take too much longer now, and that hissing will subside. Should hear the engine RPMs idle up as well a little bit. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and just release the handbrake. Ah, there we go. You can hear the hissing noise has stopped. And there goes the engine idle speed. You can hear that rising up as well. See that? It's above 200 RPM now. So that's our signal that old DM3 is ready to go. So, okay, so heading out of here, like I said, we're going to be heading out in the westerly direction. And we've got a crazy incline coming out of Harbour Town. So we've got our nice twin stick gearbox here, for those of you who aren't aware. The DM3 diesel mechanical 3 horn locomotive is a completely manual locomotive. We've got our sander there as well, and here's our reverser and throttle. So yes, with this twin stick manual, basically how it works is you've got, for those of you who are uninitiated on this, we've got 1, 2, 3 on the gearbox A and 1, 2, 3 on gearbox B. So that's 1, 1 right there, so that's low, low, and then you've got any combination of gears in between, as you could imagine. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. I don't know if I even said that already, but as you could imagine, there's a whole load of gear ratios there. So I'm just going to keep these doors open, and we'll go through and just get this show on the road. Now we're in low at the moment, so you can see that the engine RPMs are rising up pretty fast because we're in quite a low gear. So low gear will give you high RPMs and very low speed, but it's great for crawling up hills. But because we're on a level now, we can afford to just shift up. We're not going to go straight into 2-2. Going to skip some gears here and go into 2-2. So you can actually skip gears in DM3 as well. You don't need to go through every single gear combination in sequence. One thing to just be mindful of as well is, as you accelerate, not to overdo the oil temperatures in the gearbox. If you choose a gear that's too high, you'll overload the gearbox and the oil will overheat, and then you'll run into all sorts of problems as well. So we'll go through that anyway, I'm sure, as we go through this journey. There'll be plenty of time to watch those gauges like a hawk, and sweat and panic and all that sort of stuff. So we're just leaving Harbour and Town, well, just going through Harbour and Town, leaving the E yard right now at the moment. We're on level ground at the moment, so we can afford to get into these high gears and just trundle along here, nice and easy. This is not going to last for too long. Once we start going up these hills, we are really going to be struggling, I think. And it's really, really good that it's not raining at the moment. These tracks are nice and dry. We do have a very long train behind us, and that switch is set correctly, so that's all good. Sorry, horn once again. You can see there we've got a full load of fuel. There's our nice huge fuel gauge. Full load of sand as well. We might be relying on the sand a little bit as we go up these hills as well. Just increase the throttle a little bit more. Let's get a bit more speed going. Oil temps are still fine. Speed's good. We'll try and keep it under 40 coming out of here. But we don't really want to go too slow either, because we want to have a nice amount of momentum for when we hit the hill coming out of Harbour and Town. So the first set of inclines are coming out very shortly, and we don't want to be going too slowly for these, so if we do need to get onto the sander, we will. And the sander does help to reduce the wheel slip under heavy loads, under heavy power application. But the one thing with the sander is you can't use it infinitely, because you will run out of sand. And if you run out of sand and you still got lots of hills, oh, whoops, wrong gear. I'm just going there up to 3-1. Let's just get on the throttle here, nice and heavy. You can see their oil temps are now just rising right up there because we've suddenly just put on a whole load of throttle. I just want to bring the speed up if we can. Yeah, okay, I think it's time to shift gears again. Or just back off the throttle. Either way. You know what, I'm going to go up into 3.2. I love the sounds on this, the sound scheme on this DM3 is just truly a sight to behold. Not just the engine sound, it does sound like a World War II fighter, in my opinion. But apart from that, just the sound of the transmission as the transmission catches up as you speed up. It's just musical. I love it. Okay, alright. Now you can see the true length of our train just unwinding behind us right there. It's definitely nothing to sneeze at, the amount of load that we've got behind us today. That is a lot of cars. Yep, and here comes our first set of inclines. That's a plus 1.2% grade. So, want to make sure that we have a good amount of momentum right now. And it looks like we do. We'll keep this power going. But I can tell you that in just a moment, once our train starts to climb up this hill, the carriages are really going to start to weigh us down and drag us backwards. And obviously we don't want to move backwards. So, yep, I can already start to hear the engine labor. And RPMs are reducing. And that's a 40k an hour speed limit. There is no way we're doing 40 up this hill. We're struggling to hold on to 20. Yep, gonna have to shift down. Let's go to 3.1. And here starts the struggle. Here we go up the hill and the struggle begins. Now this diesel engine, it does have quite a bit of torque behind it, but you do want to obviously make sure you're in the right gear as well. So I'm just changing down a little bit more here, going back to 2.1 that is at the moment. You know what? I'm going to have to go back to 1.2, I think. Okay, and I think we might even have to go back to 1.1, to be honest with you. I'm ready on the sander in case we've got any wheel slip. And actually, that doesn't seem too bad, but I think I might go 1.1 after all. Okay, we can't go down anymore in our gearbox. This is the lowest gear. Ooh, yep. Okay, here comes the wheel slip. And here comes the sand. We just turned that little knob to get the sand flowing onto the rails there. Okay, it's starting to get a little bit real now. As soon as I turn off the sander, the wheels just start slipping. So we're going to have to start using some sand here. And hopefully we don't run out of sand. And it looks like our oil temps are increasing as well. So I don't know, I get the feeling that this might be a little bit too much weight for this DM3 to be pulling up this hill right now. And I'm not quite sure that we're going to make it, but time will tell because that is a lot of weight, 658 ton. And this is a long hill indeed. And I hope we don't run out of sand. Slow and steady wins the race, as they say. And there's Harbour in Town. Still haven't really gotten that far away from it, I must say. We've got our junction coming up soon. And looks like more of an incline, obviously. We've actually got inclines way out of here still, so we are by no means anywhere out of the woods just yet. So we still got a fair bit of incline to go. And I must say, our engine or oil temps in the gearbox are quite elevated. I'm going to back off the throttle here and just see if I can close up the sander, because I'm worried about the amount of sand that we're going to be using otherwise. And it looks like by backing off the throttle, I've got a double whammy of reduced oil temps and reduced reliance on the sander. See that? As I increase the throttle, the wheels start to slip, obviously. So, but there comes a time when you just need that extra throttle, like just now. So I've had to go back on the sander just for the time being. You really have to economize your sand usage though, I must say. So hopefully we have enough sand. Just turn off the starter power there because we don't need that right now. Look at this. I'm walking beside the DM3. We're basically going up this hill at a walking pace. That's how slow we're going. And that is a lot of weight though. Almost 700 ton. And we are using up our precious sand right now because we're going up this hill. We may well run out of sand. And then we'll start slipping our wheels. Then we'll start going backwards. Isn't that great? Do you hear something? I hear something. It sounds like a DM3 struggling behind us. Oh no, the wheels are spinning. Uh-oh, this is not good. Oh god, no. No, we're starting to go backwards. No, no. Okay, this is what happens when you fool around. I just managed to stall the engine as well on this hill. And now we're rolling backwards. I really don't know if we're going to be able to get going again once we stop, because we are on one heck of a hill right now. Okay, let's get the engine going and see if we can't get back up this hill now. I'm going to need, I think, a full load of sand to be deposited onto the rails right now. And I'm in low. Just got the power on. And I'm releasing the brake. So as the brakes come off, hopefully the engine can take up the slack. And it looks like actually we're making progress back up the hill, so very grateful for that. I'm just trying to be a little bit more economical on the sand though, as you can see there. I'm just trying to close up. Oh, no, don't close it too much. The sand is adjustable on this locomotive, so it's not just a case of turning it on and off like the DE2 for example, which I like about this DM3, the adjustable sand component, which means that you can actually economize your sand as you drive, which I think is good, just personally. Okay, wow, okay, we're in low, and we're really heating up the gearbox here, it seems. Yeah, wheels are spinning, wheels are slipping. Let's get back on the sand here. We need to get over this hump, we need to get over this hill. Those points are set correctly. Seem to be doing okay for the moment, so I'm going to go ahead and just close off the sander and just give it a little bit more power, because I'm rather confident that we don't need the sander for the moment. We have made a little bit of a dent into our sanding reserves there, but hopefully we don't need to use too much more sander for the moment. Alright, I'm going to go into 1-2 now, get out of low, and hopefully we can get a little bit more speed going. RPMs are nice and happy. Temps are rising a little bit on the gearbox, but that's fine. Let's see if we can't get this train moving a little bit faster, because I want to get this thing moving. So, next is 2-1. And this is not the end of the incline just yet. We still have a fair way to go here before we are over the hill. Pick up a little bit of speed now. It looks like a 1.5 incline ahead of us. The rest of the train is still going through those points. And if we keep going like this, I think we can probably shift up once more as well. Get a little bit more speed out of this thing. The DM3 is really good at putting down the torque. And I must say, it can hold more than the S060 steam shunter. But the downside with this thing is that it really just crawls. So in order to get its maximum pulling power, seems to want to go rather slowly, but I guess you could argue that it still gets the job done at the end of the day. Having said that though, I think we are slowing down as the rest of the train starts to go up this hill now. So we'll have to see how it goes. We may need to shift down again, actually. Well, we're down to 600 RPM. Gearbox temps are fine, though, for the moment. They are starting to warm up, though. I haven't touched the throttle or the gears, and you can really hear the engine is slowing down. Maybe I can get away without shifting down. I'll let it get down to around 400 RPM or so, and then we're just going to have to shift down. This diesel engine really has quite a lot of torque. We're in 2-1 there, as you can see. So 2 on the first gearbox, and 1 on the second gearbox there, on gearbox B, so that's 2-1. So we can shift down a little bit if we need to, but let's just see what happens here. Sometimes it's worth not shifting down, because I find that if you shift down into too low a gear ratio with too much torque, you'll actually induce wheel slip, so that's also not ideal. Because you want to try and get away without using the sander if possible, and save the sand for when it's really needed. Still pulling about 500 RPM there on the engine. Gearbox is warming up a little bit, but mostly stabilized. Let's see if we can't just make it over this hump without shifting down any further. Sometimes it's worth just riding it out and just see how it goes. So far so good. We'll just keep it going. Slow and steady really does win the race sometimes. The mighty DM3 doing its best here to hold the train up this hill. It's really struggling. But at the same time, we might be okay without having to shift down. Okay, we're down to 400 RPM now, so I think I'm going to have to call it here. Even though the engine is more or less almost over the hill, we've still got the entire train behind us, so not liking our chances here. I just heard the little buzzer as well for the gearbox temperature, and we've just passed, we're into the yellow zone now for the gearbox oil temp, so that's only going to get hotter and hotter as we go, and the poor engine is really struggling, so yeah, I'm going to have to call it here, I think, and shift down. So we're going to have to be real quick, because we're almost stalled. Going to have to get off the throttle real fast, and I'm just going to go right back down to low, and right back onto the throttle again. Yeah, okay, here comes the wheel spin. Wheel slip, get the sander back on, and I think we have saved the train. So there we go. Once again, relying on the sands. Yep, no. Still can hear it slipping here, even with... Yeah, I've reduced the throttle and turned off the sander, and you can see there it's kind of holding. I've reduced the throttle down so as not to use the sand needlessly, and actually I think that might be working. We're not slowing down. If we apply more throttle, then you can hear the wheels are slipping. Really just depends how much time you've got on your hands and how long the journey is. So if you can get away with using sand, it's always a good idea. But if you've got a short journey, you can go ahead and just burn the sand away and get moving quicker, I guess, if you wanted to. We've got a fair journey ahead of us today up to Food Factory, so that's why I'm just trying to be a little bit more economical with the sand usage here. Okay, let's try again, go to 1, 2. Going to use the sand and apply more throttle. No, somehow I don't think it's very happy here in this gear. Let's just turn the sand right off. You know what? I think I think it's happy after all. The gearbox is warming up, but we are increasing in speed. And here we are on the map. I think we're pretty much over the incline now. The front of the train is, at least. And after this, we'll be going through a set of points. And this is a long straight section here, which is more or less level. And then another level section past the steel mill. And we'll be able to pick up a bit of speed. And we've got more of an incline as we get closer to Food Factory there. So we'll have to be careful there as well. But it's probably going to be more or less nighttime by the time we reach Food Factory, I think, at this rate. Let's go to 2-1. And we're not going to go full throttle. We'll just stop short of full throttle here. More and more of the train, with every second that goes by, is passing over the incline and onto level ground. So I think we're almost out of the woods here. With every second that goes by, the train is getting easier and easier to pull. So I expect that we won't have to shift down anymore. We're going to slowly start to speed up now, which is really good. It's what we want. Alright, time to shift up. Let's go into 2-2. Nice middle ground here. And I think we're done with the sand for sure. Let's get onto the throttle. Let's get this thing moving because we are more or less on level ground now. We've got a few twisties ahead of us, but nothing too crazy. I'll try and make back some time because we've really spent quite a bit of time, I realise, just trying to climb that hill coming out of Harbour and Town just now. So now that we are more or less over the hump, I guess you could say, we'll try and pick up some speed and yeah, just trying to win back some time until we get to the next set of inclines, I guess, which won't be for a little while now, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and just shift up again. Let's go into 3-1 now out of 2-2. I love this DM3. I just love the sound of it. It really does sound like a World War II engine fighter plane somehow. And there we are on the map, making some good progress right now. And let's go up to... oh no, 3-3, which is top gear, which I think is... no, it's too much. We're going too slowly still for top gear, so let's can those plans and go to 2-3. Even that is a little bit too much for the old DM3. Oops. We'll go to 3-2 here. Heavy on the throttle. Come on, we can do this. I find that one notch back from full throttle normally preserves the oil temps a little bit so that they don't get... ooh, wrong gear lever there. Alright, we've ended up at 3-1 right now, and I think that's a nice gear ratio for the old DM3 to chew on right now. So we'll let that chew upon that for the moment. 3-1. I think we might have to shift down again soon, actually, because yeah, there goes the buzzer for the oil temps, saying that gearbox oil temps are just a little bit too high. We ended up back in 2-2 again, so let's just stay here for the moment. It's a bit deceptive. I thought that we were actually on a level, but it seems like we might still be having a little bit of incline here. Or it could just be the fact that I'm pulling a very heavy load today with the old DM3, so gearbox temps are quite elevated right now. We're very much in the yellow zone of the oil temperatures. So let's just keep it in 2-2 for now. Let's not shift up any more than this. Just look at the sunlight glistening off those cars towards the rear of the train. It just looks lovely, doesn't it? And really, you can see the sheer length of that train as well behind us. Rather crazy. Into the tunnel we go. Another tunnel here, and unfortunately I just crunched a few gears doing a gear change there. I get the feeling that we are now more or less picking up some speed from the sounds of things, so just shifting up in the gears here. We're at 3-1 at the moment. And the gearbox oil temps are elevated but steady, so we'll leave them as they are. Let's just stick with this throttle position, I think, for the time being. And I think we do have a junction coming up soon. Just going to back off the throttle slightly there, because I can see our oil temps are rising, and they are getting almost to the red zone. So yeah, we don't want to tempt fate here. We want to keep a safe margin on our running temperatures. Yeah, it looks like we've got more of an incline as well as we go through this junction, so just to make sure that we get ready to switch gears as need be, because any small inclines will affect this train quite a lot, just given the sheer length and weight of it. But the good news is, at least it seems we're picking up a bit of speed now. Finally we are making our way up and across the map, and I think it might be time to change gears, so let's go up to 3-2 and keep the throttle on. I can see there our fuel has really come down quite a bit as well on that fuel gauge. Looks like we're at about 2/3 full on the fuel tank at the moment, so climbing hills going slow like that is not very economical, because you don't cover much ground and you really do burn a lot of fuel when you're trying to pull a heavy train like that at a slow speed. So I'm hoping we can get a little bit of economy back. Okay, looks like we got the switch up ahead, and that is set in the correct direction, because we want to go straight through that junction. Back to low now, because yeah, looks like we've got more of a hill at the moment, so yeah, coming out of Harbour in Town, it's the old classic hill central, unfortunately. I think we can go up to 2-1 here, maybe. Oh, I got some wheel slip. Oops. Let's try 1-2. No, let's go low. 1-1. And just crawl. You know, I can't wait until we're actually on a proper level. And I'm sure that will occur once we're more or less out of this tunnel and onto the straight section. Alright, almost through this tunnel now. And if we take a quick look at the map as well, we can see here that we are more or less almost onto this straight section. We're just past the junction. A little bit of a curvature, and then we've got this nice straight section coming up. Okay, so that straight section there's level, I know it is, and then we've got that right hand curve, and then we'll be at Steel Mill, and then we've got more of a straight section after that as well. So we've got some straights coming up, and yeah, look at the fuel level, it's definitely come down a bit there. Sand is just over halfway as well, so we've used quite a bit of sand already as well so far on this journey. Whoops, let me just having some problems here with the old gear shifting. 2-1. I don't care. The gearbox is a bit warm, but it's fine. It's still okay. I'm getting a little bit antsy. I just want to get this thing moving already. I know this is a heavy train, and I'm asking a lot of this DM3 right now, but at the same time, we have to get moving because the day is getting on, folks. And I can start to see those shadows getting a little bit long outside, so let's not hang around here. Alright, we're in 2.2 now, full throttle. Come up, come up. Let's go, let's go, let's go. No more time to fool around. Let's try and get this speed up. 3.2. Yeah, finally. Finally, we are picking up a bit of speed. I don't care, oil's getting warm, that's fine. We've got to get this load of cargo over to Food Factory. Look at that beautiful scenery. Derail Valley on a fine, fine day. We are actually in top gear right now, 3.3, and we are picking up speed, so we are definitely on a level at the moment, not going up any hills, and I've got the throttle absolutely open to the max right now, so max power, and I can hear that whine from the gearbox increasing in pitch there, so we are speeding up. It's just utterly musical the way this thing sounds. Just make the most of this level ground as much as we can and get this train moving. Can definitely see the light is getting a bit less as the day draws on. We are almost onto the straight section of the map, so keep it going, keep it going. Beautiful day in the valley. Hopefully all of our troubles are behind us. Okay, we seem to have the opposite problem at the moment. Now we have a little bit too much momentum, but we are well and truly still smack bang in the middle of that straight. So we do have a set of points coming up soon, but that's not for a little while yet. So we'll keep on trucking and we'll be through those points shortly. I'll have to put a little bit of brake on just to slow this thing down just before we do get to those points though. Okay, time to get on the brakes, and a little bit late even, but better late than never. Here comes the set of points. I had the engine brake on just there as well, as you saw. Now I'm getting off the brake and the engine brake and just coasting through these points. Our speed is very much under control. And as soon as the train is through, we'll get back on the power. We're in top gear. We'll need to go down, I think, to about... Ooh, okay, 2.2, that's a bit too low of a gear, maybe. Let's go 3.2. It's a bit of a lucky fluke, that one. I didn't over-rev the engine, thankfully. Brakes released. And I must say, actually, the rest of the train is probably still going through those points, so I should actually get off the power right now. And let's just go easy on the power. I don't want to speed up too much while the rear of the train is still going through those points. Okay, quick status update. We are basically coming up to a set of points now. We have come from Harbour and Town, and we are coming up to Steel Mill. Now I'm just wondering, with our destination being Food Factory all the way at the top of the map there, whether we should actually service the train, the locomotive, at the Steel Mill before continuing on. I'm not too sure. It is actually 6:30 PM more or less in the evening, coming up to 7 PM soon. And one other thing that we could do as well is we could spend the night at steel mill and just continue the following day, because the light is getting on a little bit at the moment. Just go back into top gear for the moment, because this is more or less a downhill section right here as well. We're basically on a straight run now, straight into steel mill, so we should be there shortly. But yes, not too sure whether we should spend the night and maybe service the locomotive at steel mill or just continue on. I think we've got enough fuel to continue on. We're at about halfway on our fuel levels, so we'll see how we go. Anyway, let's pick up a bit more speed here, and hopefully we can make back a bit more time as well. This is a rather speedier section of the map, so we'll keep the speed up and we should be at the steel mill in no time, and we'll have to make that decision whether to continue or have a little break. There's the steel mill there, just coming into view. Just get off the throttle here. We don't want to go too fast. Actually, I want to get onto the engine brake just a little bit here, because we've got a set of points coming up. Let's just apply a bit of brake as well. Make sure that we don't put the brake on too hard. Okay, those points are set correctly, and we should be rolling into steel mill very shortly. Okay, just rolling through steel mill at the moment, and you can see there we've got just above half fuel and sand at the moment, and it's cutting it a little bit fine, I must say. We are more or less halfway through the trip at the moment, and you know what I'm going to do? I think I've made up my mind. I am going to release the engine brake, take off the brake, shift down, and give it some power. That's right, we are leaving steel mill. There's no time to waste. It's time to continue on this trip. So let's apply full throttle and get on out of here. We'll be cutting our way through the night at this rate, but at least we'll be at the destination before too long. And we've got ourselves a nice set of straights coming up in front of us soon as well. So got the engine shed coming up on our right hand side soon, just past steel mill. So I think what we'll do as well is just get these lights going just a little bit stronger on the headlights, because the light is dying from the sun at the moment. So let's just put her into top gear and cruise. One of the things I'm mindful of right now as well is not using too much fuel. So we've used half a tank of fuel coming this far. We don't want to end up using all of our fuel on the latter half of this trip. So we've got this nice straight section coming up, and we've got a whole bunch of junctions coming up as well. We basically just need to ensure that we bear off to the left hand side on all of these, and there is another nice set of inclines just before we hit Food Factory as well, which is our final destination here today on our journey. But I'm confident that we'll be able to make it with the amount of fuel that we've got. Yeah, really picking up speed now. This is a nice level slash downhilly kind of section, so just in top gear here and getting up to the upper end of our rev range, so going easy on our throttle. This train is really moving along right now. Last vestiges of sunlight just hitting the rear section of the train there. And darkness is falling in the valley, that's for sure. Got our headlights set from before, so we are going to be doing this last leg of the journey more or less in the darkness. So here we are at the moment, just snaking our way northward. We've got a junction coming up, more or less 50% left in our fuel tank. half fuel, just go ahead and set our comms radio down there onto the dashboard. Just trying to get a hold of the throttle here and just increase it a little bit. Okay, those points are set off to the left hand side, which is how we want them. We're going through those points off to the left and continuing our way northward. If we go off to the right, that is where Goods Factory in town currently is. Temperatures and RPMs looking healthy there. So we just passed through those set of points. Got another set coming up here. Got to make sure that they are set off to the left hand side as well, which I believe... No, they are not actually. Quick, let's get on the comms radio and change them over. And this next section is going to be a little bit shaky as well. We're coming up to a few inclines soon, so we'll have to get ready on the gears, because if we slow down, we're going to need to shift down. Okay, so this section of the map right here is where we will have some inclines, so we'll need to be ready. It's going to be a bit of slow going, and in fact here it is. Here's the first set. Not quite a 2% grade, but close. So I've just opened the throttle up there fully right now, and we'll see just a little bit shy of full actually. Just knock off one notch there just to keep the oil temps in check. I can hear the engine slowing down already. RPMs are going to drop. We'll have to downshift. We are in top gear, so really there's not much torque that we're putting down right now. And this is the beginning of the incline, so actually my gauge lights were off all this time, so just flick them on. Yeah, I don't think we're not gonna make much more progress in top gear like this in 3.3. Yeah, this is where the inclines really start, so let's get off the throttle here and shift down. And I'm guessing that we go down to 2.3 for now. Not going to go 2.2. I made that mistake before and almost over-revved the engine. I think we are going to have to shift down again. Yeah, so let's do this as quickly as we can. Let's go. Ooh, ooh. No, we want 2.2. Okay, this is really... okay. Let's see how it goes. I think we're going to have to shift down again, to be honest with you. Let's open that throttle right up. It's holding. She's holding. Nah, temps are increasing. Just watching those oil temps. They've entered the yellow zone once again. No. Yeah, oil temps are running away. Quick, shift down again. We'll go 2.1. And we are slowing to a crawl once again. But we are doing what the DM3 does best, and that's just crawling along and doing what needs to be done. And I'll tell you what, driving the DM3 like this is a whole lot less work than the steam shunter, that's for sure. And at least you don't have to worry about no pesky water level. Nothing's at danger here of exploding as such, as long as you keep the gearbox temps in check. And you can see that's where we are right now on the map. We've got a bit of a left-hand turn coming up once we reach another set of points shortly. Gearbox is getting nice and toasty once again. I think we might have to shift down again. We're running out of gears though. See how it goes. We're still doing just over 600 RPM on the tachometer there, so more or less in the happy zone for the engine still. But the gearbox is quite warm. I must say we're really pushing the limits of this DM3 right now. She's getting hot and toasty. Yeah, we've only got one more gear ratio to go down to, and that's basically all we've got, so let's see how we go in 2-1 anyway for the moment. Oil temps are right on the threshold of being too hot. This is quite a nail biter here. I thought all our troubles were over before when we got out of harbour and town. We are getting to the pointy end here. Once we are over this section, it's going to be a nice easy run into Food Factory. Oh, that's not a good idea. Nope, nope, nope. That's just going to drive our oil temps even higher. They're already right on the threshold, almost at the red line oil temp wise. The valley. The valley has descended into darkness. As the old DM3's work is not over for the day. With darkness having descended, the DM3 still continues to struggle. Look at the moonlight there, it's kind of glistening off those cars. That's a wonderful sight as well. At least there's one thing to be thankful for on this entire journey so far, is that the weather has been our friend the entire time. I'm going to go ahead and just get this lantern set up here because the cab light's just a little bit too dim sometimes. And I know some of you are probably saying, are you crazy? The cab light's very strong. And that may be the case, but sometimes it just seems to me that having a little bit extra light in the cab is good. And one thing I love with this DM3 as well is you've got heaps of space on the dashboard here to just spread out, you know. I'm getting a bit cold, so I'm just going to close up the doors here. Okay, a sign ahead is telling us that a junction is coming up. Okay, thankfully 2-1 is prevailing for us. We don't have to shift down into low, so that's good. And our oil temps, I can just see there in the corner, dropping as well. Oh, I'm kind of... yeah, okay. I'm being a little bit cocky here, I think. Just, yeah. Yeah, look at the fuel level. Fuel level's coming down as well. It's getting a little bit concerning. 2-2, I don't know. I think that was a bit premature shifting up like that. But I'm going to try it anyway. Yeah. We're driving our temps up once again. I'm going to go back into 2-1. 2-1 is a happy medium. Happy medium between low and 2-2. So it's a good thing you've got all these different combinations in the gearbox. Coming up to that set of points now, and looks like they need to be changed over, so let's just do that now. Looks like our oil temps are getting a little bit toasty once again. We'll probably be holding 2-1 for a little while still. It's quite dark now outside. Just relying on our headlights to light the way. This will be our last set of points to go through. Let's get on the throttle a little bit harder. Oh, no. Let's just keep it where it is. Keep it where it is. Don't want to upset the balance right here. There's a lot of load behind us. Okay, this sign is telling us that it's level ground apparently. I'll believe that when I see it. I'm trying to get this this heater going, but I don't know if I can. It's quite cold right now outside. Just huddled around this little heater. I'm guessing that's the heater. That looks like a little Nikki, I think it's called. I remember those little cars. Okay. Let's try 2-2 now. I don't know. It feels like the train's not slowing down so much, so... back to 2-1. Sometimes you just need to experiment. Okay, here we go. So here's a downhill section, finally. Okay, so I know from experience that the run into Food Factory from the east is mostly downhill, and that's a minus 1.9%, so I think being a little bit ambitious here with 3-3, so let's just go 2-2 and add some throttle. We are almost there, folks, almost there. If you've been watching and following along with me so far to this extent, I really appreciate it. Won't be much longer now and we'll be at our destination, so just shift up into 3-2 here. Thankfully we haven't had to use the sand in quite a while, so this torchlight I've heard only recently just found out. You can see the 3 colored bars there on the torch. That's actually battery powered and it can be charged up by the sun, as far as I understand, so I didn't know that until only recently. That's a fairly cool and somewhat potentially annoying feature, I think. Oh, okay. Just trying to get the RPMs up so that the engine brake can actually be effective. Yep, okay. We're coming down the other side of the hill, whatever hill this is anyway. Through the tunnel, looks like a 30k/h limit, which is going to increase, but even so, I just want to add a tiny bit of brake. Let's get it up to about 1 bar. Ended up around 2 bar there, but that's fine. We'll get off the engine brake a little bit, or a lot. And got the opposite problem once again. Just trying to keep our speed in check. As we just snake our way down. There it is, there's our destination, Food Factory, it's in sight. Okay, alright. Almost there, folks, almost there. Only a few more minutes and we'll be arriving in Food Factory with our load of vehicles up the wazoo, basically. We've got so many vehicles behind us. To be honest with you, I'm not sure why the Food Factory needs so many vehicles, but anyway, we're just doing what we're told. Doing this balancing act right now, just trying to keep the train under control because it's a 30k/h limit ahead of us. Got a little bit of a junction as well coming up. Engine RPMs are nice and healthy, giving us a good amount of engine braking as needed. We can see Food Factory looming ever larger in front of us there. You can see those red lights on the buildings. Got our set of points there taking us over to the left. A little bit too fast for my liking here, but it's fine. Let's just change these points real quick. Oh, just in the nick of time. I've got to be careful here because there's a bunch of rolling stock ahead of us in these this yard. So I want to make sure that we don't go ramming into the back of something here in the darkness. That would surely be a fitting end to this whole journey, wouldn't it? Okay, let's I think we're set up okay here. Oops, I just realized I probably shouldn't be doing that in the dead of night like this. It's more or less midnight. And we're rolling through into Food Factory in town, just waking everyone up. Hey everyone, your vehicles are here. Oh, you know those 300 cars that you ordered? Well, they've arrived. I just had a bing. It must be some sort of service console that we just got in sight of there for a moment. I must say, this DM3, if you've been watching my career videos lately, I haven't quite got the DM3 license yet, but I think I'm gonna have to give this thing a go in career mode, because once again I do miss driving this thing and I want to drive it more often. And as much as I love the steam shunter and the expert shovel, I think it might be time to get the old DM3 action going in career mode. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment below, subscribe if you haven't already and you enjoy this kind of content. I've got many more videos to come. We have made it to Food Factory in town with our load of vehicles and with our almost 700 ton load basically. So what a journey that was. Thankfully we made it. DM3 has been silenced for the night, and yes, I think we can go ahead and just apply the handbrake up here. This is only in sandbox mode, so this is not career mode. As I said, in career mode I do look forward to driving the DM3. I've got enough cash in my wallet, I think, as per the last episode there, episode 6, card up above as well, if you haven't seen episode 6 yet of career mode. But yes, I think I'll be getting the DM3 soon in career mode, because I really enjoyed this today, and hopefully you all enjoyed it as well. But until next time, I think we'll wrap it here, and I hope you all enjoyed this, and I'll catch you all in the next one.